Now, couple of things which I want to show you in XSLT. Basically, in XML, you are having something like this is a direct tag. Okay, this is a direct tag. But here, if you see this worker element, in this worker element there is descriptor. So this is the attribute name and this is the attribute value. Okay, and for in worker element there is another two child elements, which is WD ID. The type is with and employee ID. Okay, so now in this case, basically, see, if you want to get the value of 21001, your navigation is simple. You are going from report data, then report entry, and then you are going to employee ID. That is how you are fetching the employee ID value. Now let's say if you need to fetch the value, this one, descriptor. Okay, I mean you need to fetch the value, descriptor value here. Okay, so the attribute value. So how are you going to do that? So basically here you are mentioning the details like something this way. Yeah. So here from report data, you are going to report entry and then you are fetching employee ID. Okay. Now, if you need to fetch the gender descriptor value, this one. Okay, this one and this one. In gender, if you see, there is two places where female is coming, right? So if you need to get this value, for example, what will be your X path? And if you need to fetch value this one, then what will be your X path? So this is what we need to understand here. Okay, so see, if you need to fetch direct, you are simply just navigating report data, report entry, and then employee ID. Now here, if you need to go, there are some syntaxes. Okay, you need to understand the syntaxes. So basically, if you need to extract the value from here, this female, okay, then in that case, what you need to do is you have to follow in this way. In gender, I'm just pasting that code here. Okay, so here, if you see, okay, so here, if you need to fetch this value, okay, value from here, then what you will do, you will go to the gender. Okay, you go to the gender, and in that gender, you again go to the child element. Okay, then to set the condition in child element, if you can see, there are two WDID. Now the the difference between both the WDID is this type is equal to weight and this type is equal to gender code. Okay, and we want gender code value. So this is how we used to get the attribute value. So here, if you need to put condition, okay, then you can mention WD colon ID. Okay, then at the rate of the descriptor value, gender code equal to female. Okay, so this is your X path. This is your X path to get to reach here. Okay, this is your X path to reach here, and this is the value you are comparing. So basically, if you need to get the value here, you are going to write syntax in this way. Now let's say if you want the value from here, okay, then what you can write is you can write something like this. Gender at the rate of descriptor. So this is how you can get the value from here. Okay, from here. Any question or are you confused? Shalini, Lakshmi, Rutvik, did you
Yeah, can
understand
you
this?
please explain me one more time?
Yeah, so see, there are, I mean, what I'm saying, let's say there is one child element where there is some attribute, okay, and there is some value for that attribute, okay. Now, what I'm trying to say is, if you need to fetch the value of the attribute of the element, okay, this is the element, this gender is the element, and you have to fetch the value, this one. This is the attribute name, so you want to fetch the value of attribute, okay. So in this case, if you want to do this thing, if you want to fetch this female value, then the syntax will be you will go to the gender, and from gender you will simply write WD colon descriptor at the rate of. Okay, so
Okay.
if you write this syntax, then it will fetch value from here. Okay, whatever is
No,
the
it's a kind of
attribute,
declaration, right? I mean,
it's a kind of syntax, you can say.
okay,
Yep.
okay.
Okay, and the next thing is, so you are having one female here, then another is here. Okay, so the X path for this female and this female will be different. Okay, the X path for this female and this female will be different. So what I'm saying, to get this female value, you need to use this as a syntax. Okay, if you want to get this value, then you need to use this as a syntax. Okay, here field will change in the future. Let's say you are getting this in some other fields. Okay, multiple
Okay.
WDID type or this weed reference IDs and all. So there, how exactly you're going to fetch the value?
Okay,
Oh,
Ganesh.
okay. Shalini, are you clear?
Oh, but Ganesh, in the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Workday gender / ID, and then it's in the bracket, right? Gender code.
Yep.
So why not we are using just directly that gender code? Why it's in like the bracket area? Same, like why cannot
Yeah.
we use the same thing?
See, here we are getting the value. Here we are putting conditions. Okay. See, this is
Oh, okay.
ID. Okay. Here, if you see, there are two ID. You need to pick one row, right? See,
Yeah.
if you simply give WD:ID, then both the ID will be picked, right? This one and this one.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
so basically in bracket we are writing the condition so that in these two
If
lines it's,
if
yep,
this condition is fulfilled, then print the
yes.
detail. Okay. And
Are you,
what about this ID, Ganesh? Like
which one?
this ID is generated by like it's
This one.
individual,
See,
right? Yeah.
yes, in Workday there are a couple of kind of IDs. Okay, one is Workday ID, the another is reference ID, and the third one is external ID. Okay, so whenever you create any object in Workday, by default Workday allocates some unique ID. Okay, this is unique ID in the tenant.
Okay.
Okay, so this will always be unique whenever you create any calculated field or any object. Okay, by default Workday assigns some unique IDs. How to check that ID? So let me show you. For example, this is your profile, and let's say your profile. Yep. Now here in job, whatever fields, there will be many fields here in the job, right? Come on. Yeah, let's say this business admin. Okay, or let's say this position. So here, if you go to the any object, if you need to go to related action of any object. Okay, once you go to related action of any object, then you need to go to this integration IDs. Here there is view IDs. If you click on view ID, see here it will show you Workday ID. So whatever ID you are able to see there, this ID is there. Okay, so in Workday, for each and every object, there will be unique ID. If I show you, there will be unique ID for the profile as well. So here, in the last, you go to,
But this ID is generated by like when the profile is created, right? We are not
yeah,
doing anything to
no, we are not
fetch
doing
that
anything.
data, right?
Yes, in
Okay.
Workday, this Workday ID, we are not doing anything. Workday by default, it is creating this ID.
And it's automatically going into that XML file and accessible.
Yes, no. So basically, when you generate the XML data, what you will observe is if there is a text field or a date field, you will see there is no reference IDs and all. But when there is a single instance field, or let's say there is one calculated field in which single instance fields are there, okay. So basically, for those, it will generate this reference IDs in the XML, okay.
But
So here,
automatically it's generating. We are not doing like
yes,
anything for
we
that.
are not doing.
Okay.
See, one key one key I showed you. Another key, let's say this is Workday ID, which is generated by Workday itself in any tenant, and this will be unique. Okay. The second is reference ID. The reference ID is something which we can create. For example, this is one position in which position there is one reference ID type, that is position ID, and the value of that reference ID is P0008. Okay.
This
This
one
is
is
something we can, yeah. This ID is something you can change as well. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, see, in
it's like
maintain
an
reference
employee
ID.
ID.
Okay, it will take a long time, but you can
Yeah.
edit these IDs. Okay, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
because
This is something you won't be able to
yeah.
edit.
This one is like an employee ID, right? Position IDs.
I mean, not always. Let's say you're creating some time types, okay, or let's say leave request type of, okay. So let's say whatever leave request you will create, you will define your own format to
Okay.
understand like this is a leave type,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Okay.
Also in
Got
work
it.
schedule IDs, okay, in work schedule IDs, generally people used to follow one syntax, okay. So this is
Okay.
something either you decide. If you see, if you do not,
Or
when you are
company
creating,
decide.
no. See, when you are creating any object in Workday, okay, if you are not giving any reference ID, automatically
Okay.
it will create some dummy reference ID based on the name of that object. Okay,
Oh,
but
okay.
let's say when you are creating some data in Workday and you are also updating the reference ID, okay, then it will not be automatically updated. Whatever you will update, okay, it will come like that.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. And anyways, we are going to understand those things only. So reference ID is something you can create by yourself. Okay, this should also be the this should also be unique in the system. Basically, the type and the ID value should be unique in the system. Then there is external ID. So external IDs are created from external endpoints, mainly used in the integration space. Okay, but when you will create integrations, mostly you are going to use this WID. We call this as WID. Okay, in short, we call this as WID. Okay, so I would say like you practice XSLT more. Okay, try to make changes in the X path. Okay, and then try to just check what happens if you use only template, if you do not use for each. Okay, there are multiple things you can explore in XSLT. Okay, so you guys do that. Okay, now let us go with the next item, which is EIB inbound. Now you understand inbound and outbound means, right? Like when I say EIB outbound, what does that mean? When I say EIB inbound, what does that mean? You know, right?
Yes, Ganesh.
Okay. So EIB inbound means now you are trying to update data in Workday. Okay. So basically there is one external file. Okay. From external, using external file, you are trying to update data in the Workday. Okay. So we will see a couple of examples how to create EIBs, and then how can we fill the data, how to run EIB. Okay. And how exactly we can test EIBs. Okay. So I'm going to Workday. You just go to let us try to terminate someone. Okay, terminate someone in Workday. So let us pick one worker. Test. Okay. Yeah, test employee 1. Someone has created test employee 1. So let's try to terminate this one. Hmm. Okay. So to create inbound EIB, what you need to do is, again, you just go to create EIB. Then here give the inbound name. Let's say INT EIB inbound. Say Ganesh. Click OK. Okay. Now here it is asking get data. So in get data, basically you will configure the document retrieval. If you are updating data from some other system, okay. If not, then you can simply just mention attach file at launch. Okay, here this is something you need to note it down. Okay, this is something they used to ask in the interview questions as well, like what are the retrieval method, what are the retrieval method we have in Workday. Okay, so in EIB you can see Amazon Simple Storage, attach file at launch, FTP SSL, Google Drive, REST URL, SFTP, use existing retrieval method. Okay, so basically, and there is one attach file at launch. Okay, so again, you need to understand those concepts. Basically, you remember all these things, and uh, one connection you can understand in detail, that is SFTP. I'll cover that later, anyways. Okay. So as of now, I'm just mentioning attached file at launch. Okay. Then here file type, you mention, you just go to the drop down. You will see custom object as spreadsheet template and web service as spreadsheet template. So you understand one thing in Workday, what happens? Whatever data you need to update in Workday, to update data in Workday, you need to call some web service.
We
Okay.
can, Ganesh, we can extract the data from other systems, right? Inbound means.
No, so using EIB, you will not be able to extract data from other system. If other system is generating file, then you will be able to consume. Okay, but in EIB, you won't be able to call any direct, someone else APIs. Okay.
Oh.
So that is something we can do in Studio. Okay, let's say you have some other system and you want to pull data directly from that system. Okay, you want to call that one API, get the data, you transform the data, and then you are updating in Workday. So that is something is possible in Studio only.
Okay.
Okay. Now here I'm just using web service spreadsheet template and web service operations. So now what exactly you want to do in Workday? What exactly you want to update? Okay. So for example, I need to terminate one worker. Let's say I need to terminate one worker. Terminate employee. Okay. You just pick, see whatever update you want to do in the system, basically you need to choose that web service operation. So how exactly you will understand, like what is the web service name, whatever actions you have to do, how exactly you're going to identify the web service. See, basically what you can do is, let's say someone asks you to upload data. Now you understand what is that data. Okay. Now they are saying the data is to update work phone number. Okay. So now if you are getting data to update phone numbers, then you simply search for a contact change. Okay, and it will give you all the options related to contact, and you can just pick one relevant web service operation, and then you just select that. The other way is you just go to the Workday community, or there is one public page where you will be able to see the web service operation names as well. Okay, so Workday web services, just go to Workday web services, then you click on the first link. Here, see, there are many services. Now I need to terminate employee, for example. So I'm just going in the staffing, and in the last, See, in the last, there is one terminate employee. Okay, so you need to understand the functional area first. Okay, if you are doing something in learning, here, let me go back. Let's say you are doing something in learning. Okay, so you have one functional area, learning. So you just go here and then you click here and then you will get all the web service operations. Okay, this is all the web service operations in learning module. Okay, so whatever action you need to do in Workday, whatever data you want to upload in Workday, you understand the functional area of that. Okay, from here, whatever functional area you are updating in, you just select that. For example, I'm just doing the termination. So I'm just going to staffing. Where is staffing? Yes, staffing. So this is my functional space where I want to update. And here I can see, if I go to the last, I can simply see terminate employee. And same this terminate employee web service operation, I'm going to use in EIB. So here see terminate employee web service. Okay. Now click on next.
There it has an underscore, and here there is no underscore. No need of that, right, Ganesh? Like there.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, you
That
just,
okay.
yeah, I mean, you just take help to find the relevance. Okay.
Oh,
The
okay.
name relevance. So that's how you are going to get the exact web service name. You can try. Sometimes you need to try. See, if you maybe you can get in a situation where when you are searching, you are getting multiple web services. Okay, so in
Okay.
that case, basically you will not be able to decide like which one I should be using. So you can just go to Workday web services. Here there are a lot of description they have mentioned for each and every web service, right? So you just read all these things and then choose the relevant and you just use that web service. So here I'm just using terminate employee web service. The transformation type, here I'll just give the template model and template model from web service operations. So I have used terminate employee. By default, it came as terminate employee. Then click on next. Yeah, so in deliver. So basically now where exactly the data is being delivered. So that will be delivered in Workday web service operation. Okay, and Workday web service operation by default it is coming as terminate employee, which we have set in the get data. Now click on next. Your integration is completed. Okay. Now you created the integration to terminate employee. You have used web service version, web service operations name. You have used everything. Okay. The configuration is done. Now you have to terminate employees using this integration. Okay. So to terminate integration, what kind of file you are going to upload? Okay. What kind of file you are going to upload in this integration so that this integration terminate workers in Workday. Okay. How exactly we can get the data? So for that one, what you can do is you can just go to the related action. In related action, you will see there is one option template model. Okay, you will see option template model. So in this template model, basically you just go generate spreadsheet template. There are two versions you will see, XML, Excel, but Excel is easy, so I'm just pulling the Excel. Confirm, submit. So this Workday will give you one template in which you just need to fill the data. Okay, and then you can just upload the data in the EIB inbound integration and data will be updated in Workday. Okay, so let this run, then we'll show you. Yeah, here the template has been generated. You can click on this template, open this template. Now see here. So see here, you can see there is multiple tabs. Okay, multiple tabs got generated here. Okay, I mean terminate employee, then request one-time payment. Okay, review Cobra eligibility. It is service date. So basically, you don't need to do everything. Okay, basically whatever is required, that is something you need to do. So here in the you will get the overview page. The overview page will show you the each and every step which is required to terminate employee. Okay, from where these things are coming, you can just go to Workday. You can check the termination BP. Come on. Oh my God. Here they have created so many terminate employee. Mm, hmm. Okay. Uh, Let me see if there is any terminated worker. Sorry guys, I just want to show you something, but uh, people. Okay, let's see this one. Yep, terminate. Yeah, so see, this is a termination BP. Okay, in termination BP, what you can see is there is one initiation step, then manage business process, review employee termination, okay, then adjust time of balances. So whatever you have here configured in the BP as a step to terminate employee, when you will download the template, okay, you will be able to see all those things here as well. Okay, request one time payment, okay, then in payroll input, so all the things. So whatever is required in termination, you will be able to see everything here in terminate employee event. Here basically there are a lot of termination BP they have created. Okay, so I mean, they have changed actually some of the steps, but that's fine. Basically, in general, termination is not this much of lengthy PP. Okay, termination is simple one. I wanted to show you something simple. Then this. Okay, anyway, let's just
So
go there.
this is just a template, Ganesh, right?
Yeah. So basically, what will happen? So basically, when you create any EIB integration, okay, when you choose the web services, okay, like for example, here in this case, I have to terminate employee. Okay, so once you generate the spreadsheet template from that integration, then it will generate your template based on the BP. Okay, whatever steps are there in BP to terminate employee, this has been generated. Okay, so whatever web service operation you will choose, based on that, this template will be generated. So this template is not by default which can be used anywhere in Workday. This will be only used to terminate employee in Workday.
Okay, specific.
Yes. So if you choose any other web service operation, then this template will be different. Okay. So here here what
And
I'm
all
showing.
these, like whatever web services are available only in the inbound process we are using for EIB or for CCW also.
Sorry, come again.
The same like the terminate employee, right? That the whatever web service we use, right?
Mhm.
In the community. So all of them are only used for creating inbound integration or somewhere else we can use that.
So basically here you can identify. So this is the web service list I have given. Okay, let's say these are the web services operation in one of the uh, functional area, that is staffing. Okay, so here whenever you see like edit, create, okay, edit, create, then put, okay, all those things will be used, can be used in EIBs. Okay, and those can be used to update the data in Workday. Okay, but wherever you see like get applicants, get change government ID, so these web services cannot be used for updating details in Workday.
Oh,
Okay.
so how do we like identify where to? So these are the only for the EIBs or this can be used for the CCW also?
Okay, so basically in CCW you cannot call any web service, okay, explicitly. Basically
Right.
the services are already defined in the template. Okay,
Okay.
so there you don't have anything to do with these services. Okay, but in Studio you can do that. In Studio you will be able to get data from this get web services. Okay, so this can be called from third party system, you can say any other third party system, from Studio, then from EIB.
Okay. So only like for the current situation, I can say it's only for the EIBs.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Where there is an inbound thing is there, that then only it will, see, because we need to update or for those actions only we'll use inbound for that only, right, Ganesh?
Yeah, so inbound is
Editor.
yeah, inbound integrations are mostly used to update data into Workday.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, if you need to fetch data from Workday and export to some other
Outbound
system,
we will
yeah,
do.
you can simply
Yes,
say outbound integration.
yes.
And web services can be used in inbound integrations as well as outbound integrations. It depends on the type of web services. If there is any web service operation where you are referring to create, put, edit, maintain, then those web services will be used to uh, update data into Workday wherever you are using. Okay, and
Okay.
one more, yeah, and one more thing, guys. So basically, whatever this web service, let's say you have a, different middleware system, let's say for example microservices, okay, or some data hub, okay. So basically, those kind of systems directly configure these web services, and they used to get data directly from Workday, okay. So all those things are happening via web services. So this is the most important part of Workday. You can do anything. You can update data, you can retrieve data, you can do anything using web services. Okay, and in EIB inbound, here if you see in EIB inbound also, you are just configuring the web service only. You are using the web services, you are creating the template. Okay, see actual the request message looks like in some different way. If I generate another spreadsheet template in XML, then you will see the request message. So let me show you that request message as well. Uh, template model. Okay, let's say if I generate the template, you can generate template in any format the way you want to put the data. I mean, it depends on you. Okay, so generally Excel is easy, so people used to generate template in Excel format, not in XML format. So whenever you create this spreadsheet template, it will ask you the options. Okay, so you can either choose XSL or you can choose XML. Now I'm choosing sorry, Excel and XML. So now I'm choosing XML. Okay, you just click on confirm, so submit, and then I'll show you the request message. XML. Now I'm opening this XML into this is how is the XML request. This is some weird XML request. Don't worry about that. But here you will see there are many options, okay, where you can just put the data and all those things you can do. So I would say never generate XML. Okay, if you generate XML, okay, then also you can open this XML into Excel sheet as well. Okay, if you do that, just click on write, open with mm, let me open one Excel, blank Excel. So here if you will just open this, then by default it will open the template which you have already extracted in Excel. Okay, so that XML is also an Excel kind of. Now here in the web service, here if you go, see this is the web service operation. For example, I have used the terminate employee, right? So if I go to terminate employee web service operation, if I click on this, then here you can see the request message. So just click on this XML. Oh no, sorry. Just click on this XML and it will show you the request message. This is how you can generate. Okay, so which one is better? Basically, you have two options to fill your data. Okay, and then process the inbound integration. The one option is this XML. The other option is this Excel. Which one is more understanding?
Excel.
Excel, right? So
Yes.
always whenever you will create EIB inbound integration, okay, you generate the spreadsheet template and you fill data here. Okay, so here also I'm doing the same thing. So this is my template to terminate employee. Okay, what I'll do is in terminate employee, I'll just mention the employee ID. So let's say I have opened one employee. Where is that employee? and do not terminate your profile. Otherwise, you will not be able to access Workday. Okay, when you are practicing, don't terminate your profile only. Okay, terminate someone else's profile. Here I need employee ID. So in the spreadsheet template, you just go update the employee ID. I'm just pinging the spreadsheet key. This is a spreadsheet key. Okay, we will discuss about this template more. Don't worry. Today I'm just showing you like how can we terminate one worker in Workday. So now termination date. Here you can see there is one format. Okay, so let me give yesterday's date 2/24. Then month is July 09. Last day of work will be same. Now termination region. Okay, here you can see there are some field which is mandatory. For example, this required this spreadsheet key is mandatory. This is required. Employee ID is mandatory. Then termination date is mandatory. You can also see the star mark here. So when you are filling this sheet, then whatever fields are mandatory, you have to fill all those fields. Okay. Now primary region. So what would be the primary region? To find the primary region, I'm just using one terminated worker profile. And here this is the primary reason. Okay, so what exactly I need to put here? Primary region termination subcategory. Subcategory ID. So here we need to use the reference ID, with or event classification category, subcategory. Okay, so there are multiple things. So when I open this region, let me open this region. Think I don't have access, but let me check. Yeah, terminate employee. What is the ID of that employee? 21003. Two one zero zero three. We identified one worker to terminate, right? Some test employee. Test employee 1. Yeah, but let's see this one 23029. Why 21003 is not coming? Because that employee is already terminated. Okay, now I'm picking this one. I'm just trying to terminate this worker in the UI. So here you notice one thing. Okay, whatever steps you are going to terminate. Okay, so basically for any worker, when you will try to terminate, okay, if there is any business process transaction which is in progress status, okay, if there is any transaction, you will not be able to terminate. I mean, you just mentioned this point. Will not be able to terminate worker if there is any in progress transaction in worker history. So the worker which we are trying to terminate, there is some in progress transaction that is not allowing. So what I'm doing to show you guys what I'm doing, I'm just canceling this process. Business process cancel. Test. Now what I'll do is terminate employee again. Click OK. Yeah, now here it is. So basically, when you get something to update some data in Workday, okay, to understand the spreadsheet template, the first thing what you do is in the lower tenant, you try to execute that process by yourself. Okay, you will understand what are the what are the mandatory fields and what value you should be putting for those mandatory fields. Okay, so here if you see there is primary region, the same primary reason your spreadsheet template is also asking. Okay, now how to get the value? So let's say the value is voluntary, voluntary, then let's say career progression, for example. You just click on this, you will be having the reference IDs. Okay, click on integration ID, view IDs. Now here you see termination subcategory ID. Okay, so the termination subcategory ID, this is the value. Okay, now if I go to the template, here you also see termination subcategory ID. Okay, so here I just copied the value from there, and I have just pasted here. Now click OK. Then what are the other mandatory fields while termination? This is fine. Now pay through last day of work and pay through date. Okay, and there is no any field mandatory. Now what I'll do is I'll just last day of work. This is fine. Termination date is fine. Pay through date. I'm just updating the same date here. Now you just save this template. So I'm saving as Ganesh. Now you go to Workday. Open the integration. Launch the integration. Run now. So here integration attachment. Create integration attachment. Attach file. So I have saved one. Open this. Okay, so here the first whenever you will be running the EIB for the first time, you just run that in validate only mode. So in validate only mode, what it will do is it will not update data in Workday. Instead, it will just replicate what is going to happen, whether the data which you have filled in the template, whether those data is correct or not, or how many records are going to generate errors. Okay, so that is something you will identify. See, basically when you are running this EIB inbound integration in production, and let's say there is some data which is not correct, okay, and you just ran that integration in production, so ideally that is going to impact, right? So when you are loading data in Workday production, then be very, very careful. Okay, you need to very carefully understand like whatever data you're updating, that is correct or not. Okay, once you update the data, then it will be very difficult to retain the data back. Okay, so here also I'm just doing the validate only mode. Click OK, refresh. Okay, so it did not complete, it generated errors. Now let's see what are those errors. You can click on this. Yeah, failure report. Open this report and see the effective date must be after the date of last completed a staffing organization change. Okay, so whatever organization change has happened for this worker, the effective date should be greater than that. Okay, so that's fine. We'll check that. We'll see what is the effective date. Here, if you go to the worker history, then okay, what date I have given? Hmm. Okay. So you go to this policy. See, these are the things. It looks like a bit difficult. The difficulty is because they have modified the BPs, right? So they have added additional steps and all. So this is not the easiest. I mean, generally this is easy EIB. Okay, but we will. I mean, tomorrow I'll create some different EIB inbound. Okay, then I'll show you how exactly that works and all. But today I'm just let me just fix this thing, a couple of things. Then I'll show you how this update data. So for this one, I mean, what is happening when I am running, it is generating one error. Okay, what this error is saying, there is one position. I mean, this worker is attached to one position. Let me show you. This is the position. So see here are some of the transactions which are okay. This transaction is my transaction only. Effective date. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'll terminate this worker in Workday directly, and then where is that? Hmm. I have used incorrect employee ID first of all. Now let me run the integration again. Click OK. Create integration attachment. Here, see in CCW, uh, or basically in EIB outbound, when you need to attach transformation, you're not going to create multiple attachment. You're going to edit, okay? But here, if you have updated the file, then you can just create integration attachment different every time. Okay. Now I'm just using the template which I have filled. Okay. Validation mode. Sorry guys, will not take more than 5 minutes. Okay, I'll explain how to fill this sheet and all tomorrow. Okay, how you can extract the sheet. I think you understand. You need to create EIB integration. Then you just go to the related action in template model. You will see generate a spreadsheet template. Okay, so that is how you need to generate the template. Then how exactly you can fill this template and just run the integration you understood, but how exactly you can fill this template, that is something you did not understand till now. See here, if you see, this is completed. Okay, so basically the error was I was actually trying to update terminate one terminated employee, okay, with some effective date, okay, and that is why it was erroring out. So basically now I have given the correct employee ID. If you see the integration has been completed successfully in the validation mode. Okay, so now what we will do is we will relaunch this integration. Right now here you can see the worker is active, right? So now what I'll do is I'll just relaunch this integration, relaunch, so that XSLT, uh, the attachment file would be there. Yeah, so the attachment is already here. Now I will just uncheck this validation mode and I'll click OK. Okay, so now this is actually loading data. Okay, validation mode, data will not be loaded into Workday. Now it is actually terminating employee in Workday. So let this complete. Is completed. Okay, it did not generate any kind of errors. Now what we will do is we will just search this employee in Workday. Okay, so here if you search, or if I simply refresh this, see the worker is terminated. Okay, earlier the worker was not terminated. Now if you go to the worker history of this worker, if you go to the worker history of this worker, now see there is one terminate transaction happened. Okay, so this is how we used to update data in the Workday. So here I used EIB inbound to terminate one employee in Workday. Okay, you can use EIB to update phone numbers in Workday, email address in Workday, uh, names, personal names, preferred name in Workday, update preferred name, or you can just use any web service operation to update data in Workday. Okay, so I mean, not anyone, basically the web service operation which is used to update the details in Workday. The put one, then maintain one, create one, okay, edit ones, okay, all those things. Okay, so I am sure like today you did not understand much of the things here, but at least did you understand like how to run how to create EIB integration, how to run EIB integrations, and how to generate the spreadsheet file? Are you able to
Yes,
understand
correct.
that part? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so I believe the only the main thing you did not understand is how to fill this sheet. How exactly you can identify like which one you need to fill and what value you need to fill, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay, so no worries. We will discuss this thing in detail tomorrow, like how exactly we can you can fill this sheet when there is termination subcategory ID, then how exactly you can get that IDs and all. Okay, but the whole process is something this only. Okay, you need to create one EIB, you generate one template, you fill the template with the data, and then you just load that template. Uh, yep, you just load that template while running the integration. Your data will be updated into Workday. Okay.
Okay, Ganesh.
Yeah.